Your mind has taken you to where you are now, and that's as far as you'll ever go. It is the heart that will open the way to the soul, that allows the new and the mysticism and the mystery of your life to unfold. The mind and the thinking capacity brings our personality to a certain level to make many wonderful and rich choices in our lives. But at the level of the work that all of you are doing, and the bit that I do know about it, it's about the heart opens the way for the soul. My online university that myself and another dean of education created a few years ago, called the Institute for Leadership and Lifelong Learning International. The whole mission is we activate the soul's mission to awaken the heart of the world. We activate the soul's mission to awaken the heart of the world. And we have been so programmed to hear that we are broken and the world is broken, which requires us to be easily manipulated, easily hurted to do certain things. But we truly are whole, and we start there. It is in our wholeness. And when the heart is open, you know that. You know that you are a whole person, just as you are. You're not broken. Nothing's missing. And nor is the world. And so when we perceive ourselves as not broken, then we don't see the world as broken. Are there things that need to be corrected? Absolutely. Is there some wild out there that need to be addressed? Of course. However, it's the vibration of wholeness that's going to ultimately, permanently change it, in my belief, not the vibration of putting a Band-Aid on something that is broke. So it's a teaching, it's a consistent teaching to people about coming from our hearts. When I'm on the phone with someone, when I'm texting someone, when I'm having a meeting with someone, regardless of the reason, even if I don't say it out loud, I'm saying, hello from my heart. That's why I started like that with you today, because I'm not here to do a talk. I've only done, I don't know how many thousands in my life. I'm not here to talk at you. I want to have an experience, with all of you. I want to come from my heart. I want to learn from you. So a long way of answering your question, but it's important for us to recognize permanent change is heart-centered. Healing is heart-centered. When we look at the greatest cause of death on our planet today, in the facts that are real, are about, it's the heart issues. It's the heart issues. And you wonder why that is. I know that many of you in this group, you work with chakras. What we know is it's the heart chakra that is the bridge between the physical, mental, and emotional body that opens our way for the third eye, our ability to scan, our ability to envision, our ability to be in the greater presence of the I am. So that's just a little bit about all that. You can muscle test at any given moment, and you can say, I am whole, and you test positive, and you can say, I am broken, and you test negative, because it's not the truth of our being. We're always whole. And so it's a lie. It's a fabricated story. It's a belief system. It's something that we've been taught either through religiosity or some other window or some kind of therapeutic stuff. The thing of it is, for me, and I talk a lot about this in my book, When Did You Die? Because when I reached 38 years old, I felt that I was dying. And I'm not talking a physical death. I'm talking an energetic death. And I felt like I was dying. And so I came to a stop point because I had always been a motivated person, an athlete. Let's go, a walk away from the car accident and go, I'm okay. My pep was not stepping forward, and I won't carry you through all that. But the bottom line is that I met a shaman teacher, and I learned that we are only as evolved as our story is. I learned an immense lesson, and I learned that in our society, we often have it backwards in certain cultures because things do happen to us. We do have tragedy. Not all of us were fortunate to be born to parents that saw our gifts and sent us to the mystery schools in India and thought that we were enlightened. Not all of us were that fortunate. Some of us wound up as sacred wounded healers in the throes of addiction and alcohol and all those kind of things. Absolutely. But the thing of it is that the things that are tragic for us, they are designed to draw out of us depth, more of a heart, and more of a dynamic presence, so we actually have something to give. When people say that I want to spend my life sharing and talking and making a difference, how can one do that if you've never gone through anything? How are you going to relate to others? How are you going to have depth when it comes to being a healer and holding the capacity for a room of people and say, you shall be healed, if you don't even believe that you've been able to heal your own freaking story? So it's an awareness of that you give thanks for the stories because they have made you. I love what Shirley MacLaine says. We don't make mistakes. Mistakes make us. And mistakes or challenges or whatever you want to call them, they don't take energy away from us unless we allow them to. They actually give us energy. They give us more of who we are, more of the capacity to love, more of the capacity for compassion, more of the capacity to understand and to feel. And this is the other part for those people on a spiritual path. Spirituality, though we are all connected to something greater than ourselves, whether we practice it or not, spirituality creates us to be more human, not less. So for me, I used to think, as I went to all these classes and I did all these workshops, and as I owned and drank green juice and ate plant protein, not animal, and all of those things through the years, that I would just be, more peaceful and more this and more that. And in the ways of those moments, I am. And yet I hurt a lot. I cry a lot. I see things that happen with people and their children, and the same repeated cycles in our society of putting children in boxes when they are miracle workers and all those stuff. My humanity becomes more accelerated. So the fact is, your stories made you, yet what I like to say is history describes us, but it does not have to define us. So yes, for me, I have had the good pleasure by the grace of the divine that I sobered up my life at 29 years old. And so I have 35 years of sobriety. But I don't tell my story as some pitiful thing or some ridiculous thing or some disempowering thing. To me, I've just developed the greatest sense of humor around it because I don't want to be anonymous, because I don't feel like I feel like I earned that story, that if it could help one person, and I make it fun. It's not anything like, oh, look at me and, oh, look at these wounds I carry. No, look at the fact that I've had some experiences that have taught me about life, so I can resonate with other people and what they go through. And I've had the good pleasure endlessly to meet up with people that just want to be heard or validated, that you understand that they have an allergy to something that they have no control over. So anyway, I think I'm spending more time on the questions than I actually did on what I had to say originally. But I'm in the flow. So just put on the chat, stop, and I will. Anyone else want to ask me anything? But always remember, you're the story you tell yourself. That's your truth. That's your truth. Whatever story you tell you about you, you continue to live that, and other people you attract in your life believe that. I always tell people, when you are excited about your life, you'll have people in your life that are excited about your life as well. That's just the way it works. It's called the simple law, the immutable law of cause and effect. And it always works. Who you are is what you get. Like so many of you, you know, I've grown up in a system that, you know, who you are is measured by how many, you know, false friends you have on Facebook, or how many Instagram followers, and, you know, all of that. I mean, for me, the practice is, and I really take it literally, that I am full of spirit, not myself. I hang out with people that are full of spirit, not themselves. And yet we language in a conversation, you know, I went here, or this happened, or whatever. We have a way of sharing our story about our own individuation of spirit. But many years ago, when I was into probably my 5th year of shamanic classes, I went to the underworld and I asked, what tool do I need in order to be my best life? You know, in order to feel like that the world in some small way was a better place, because I actually was here. That I may have contributed to an answer to one of the problems of the world, instead of being always a problem of the world. And the message I got was, it was so powerful. And I would invite all of you, if you haven't already, that you do these kind of meditations so that you get answers that are specific to you. They're not cookie cutter answers, but they're answers to you. And what happened, Reagan, was absolutely fascinating. And this visual has stayed with me for these, 25 years, in that I was taken in this visualization up to a mountain, and I was gifted with this royal robe, and these elders looked like a group of Buddhists from the monastery. You know, they had made this burgundy robe laced in gold, and they put it on me, and it was so beautiful. I was like, oh, I love this. I love the empress, the colors. Oh, wow, you know. And in this meditation, then they took it off and they hung it over on a post, and they walked me down to the water. And there was this woman, and she was washing robes, and they were tattered and they were torn. And she looked at me and she said, you are a robe washer. You are a robe washer. And so that's my spiritual name, is robe washer. So when I hear myself getting into all this and that and all that, I hear a whisper come over me and say, how are you doing, robe washer? How are you doing, robe washer? So as you are alluding to, it's a balance. You know, it really is a balance. And I've had people call me and, you know, they'd ask my advice on, for example, like, how do I grow my community? And I'd start to give them 3 or 4 ideas. Well, this has worked, you know, with a lot of groups. This is, I don't have any more. Oh, I don't have any more time. No, I'm busy already. Oh, no, well, no, I can't do that. I don't have one more window to do one more thing. And I went, if I can be candid with you, you're the problem. Because anytime it's I language, you're already in the way of something happening. Because when we get into the I language, like you're talking about, we have already lost sight that it is something greater that's wanting to happen with us and around us. And it's not up to that bottleneck of that one person that keeps everything healed. The healer, it is an incredible thing. I think that's why I love to do energy work with people and do energy medicine, because it has to come through my body to get to them. So it's like, it's such a benefit to keep the energy up with me. And that's the way life is working. Anytime I'm holding the capacity for something else to heal, I'm blessing myself in that. So I am aware of the woundology of a healer is neediness, martyrdom, addictions, and perfectionism. You know, that is one reason that I like to say that, and I say this every week when I'm there with my team, we're here to be connected, not perfected. Because that can stop many ideas, many dreams, many things from happening. If we await till it's just right, then, time has passed.